What if the deepest secrets of who we are aren't found in our conscious thoughts, but in the unseen layers of our psyche? What if by unlocking those hidden parts, we could understand ourselves, others, and the world in ways we never thought possible? This is precisely the journey that Carl Jung, one of the greatest minds of the 20th century, embarked on, a journey to explore the depths of the unconscious mind and reveal the mysteries of the human soul. Carl Jung wasn't just a psychologist, he was a visionary, a pioneer who charted the unknown territories of the human psyche. His ideas on the unconscious, archetypes, the collective unconscious, and individuation have had a profound influence on psychology, philosophy, and even modern pop culture. Jung's exploration of the inner world and the unseen forces shaping our lives offers us powerful insights into who we are, how we relate to others, and how we can achieve a more balanced and authentic life. But before we dive into his groundbreaking theories, it's important to understand the man behind these ideas, his life, his struggles, and the pivotal moments that shaped his thinking. In this chapter, we'll explore Carl Jung's early life, his groundbreaking work in psychology, and the path that led him to discover the power of the unconscious mind. Carl Gustav Jung was born on July 26, 1875, in Keswil, Switzerland, into a family that was steeped in religious and intellectual history. His father, Johann Paul Jung, was a pastor, and his mother, Emily Pricework, came from a family with mystical interests. From an early age, Jung was exposed to both the rigid structure of religion and the mysterious, intangible side of life. This contrast played a significant role in shaping his future work, as he would later explore the tensions between spirituality, reason, and the unconscious mind. Growing up, Jung was often a solitary child. He found solace in his imagination, which he later described as rich with vivid dreams, fantasies, and even a sense of being haunted by unseen forces. His early life was marked by a sense of internal conflict, particularly in his relationship with his mother, whom he found emotionally distant. His father's own inner turmoil and religious struggles added to the complexity of his early experiences. These formative years, full of deep inner reflection, would set the stage for his lifelong exploration of the human psyche. Jung studied medicine at the University of Basel, and it was there that his fascination with psychology began to take root. He was particularly drawn to the field of psychiatry and took a position at the Burghalsli Psychiatric Hospital in Zurich, where he worked under the guidance of renowned psychiatrist Eugen Bleuler. It was here that Jung's career took an important turn, as he began to delve into the treatment of mentally ill patients and explore the complexities of the human mind. Jung's early work was heavily influenced by his mentor Sigmund Freud. Freud, the founder of psychoanalysis, was a major figure in the world of psychology at the time, and his theories about the unconscious mind and human behavior deeply resonated with Jung. However, it was not long before Jung began to develop his own ideas that diverged from Freud's. In 1907, Jung met Freud for the first time, and the two quickly formed a close professional relationship. Freud, recognizing Jung's brilliance, saw him as his heir apparent in the field of psychoanalysis. The two men exchanged ideas, corresponded extensively, and even co-authored several works together. At first, Jung embraced Freud's concept of the unconscious mind and the importance of repressed memories. He saw potential in Freud's ideas and was eager to collaborate on their development. However, as their relationship deepened, their differences began to surface. Freud's theory, focused primarily on sexual drives and the role of the libido, did not sit well with Jung. Jung's own experiences, combined with his wide-ranging intellectual curiosity, led him to question Freud's emphasis on sexuality as the central force of human motivation. He believed that the unconscious mind was far more complex than Freud had imagined, and it contained not only repressed memories and desires, but also vast, hidden layers of the psyche that could reveal deeper truths about the self. Jung's growing disagreements with Freud came to a head in 1913, when Jung ultimately broke away from the psychoanalytic movement. This was a turning point in Jung's career, as he began to develop his own theories, which would later form the foundation of his analytical psychology. After parting ways with Freud, Jung embarked on a journey of self-exploration and intellectual discovery. He began a series of personal experiences that he later referred to as his confrontation with the unconscious. During this time, Jung experienced vivid dreams, visions, and even what he described as mystical experiences, all of which he documented in his famous Red Book. This period of intense introspection marked a pivotal moment in Jung's life and work. It was here that he began to formulate many of his groundbreaking theories about the unconscious, archetypes, and the process of individuation. Jung's theories would differ significantly from Freud's in several key ways. Whereas Freud focused primarily on the personal unconscious, Jung introduced the idea of the collective unconscious, a deeper layer of the unconscious mind shared by all humans. This idea would become one of his most famous contributions to psychology, and it would form the basis for his later work on archetypes, the structure of the psyche, and the process of personal growth. Through his exploration of the unconscious, Jung came to see the psyche as a dynamic system that, when properly understood and integrated, could lead to wholeness and self-realization. His work was not just about diagnosing mental illness, but about helping individuals understand themselves on a deeper level and integrate the hidden parts of their personality. Jung believed that true psychological health came not from repressing or ignoring our darker sides, but from confronting and integrating them. Carl Jung's ideas continue to have a profound influence on psychology and beyond. His work laid the foundation for many areas of modern psychology, including depth psychology, dream analysis, and the study of personality. Beyond psychology, Jung's concepts of archetypes and the collective unconscious have been embraced by fields like literature, film studies, and even religious studies, as they offer a universal framework for understanding human behavior and storytelling. Jung's legacy also extends into the realm of self-help and personal development, where his ideas on individuation and self-realization have provided individuals with valuable tools for inner growth. His emphasis on self-awareness, integration, and personal transformation has inspired countless people to embark on their own journeys of self-discovery. In the next chapter, we will dive deeper into Jung's ideas about the unconscious mind, the personal and collective unconscious, and how these concepts shape our understanding of who we are. But before we continue, remember to subscribe to The Unfolding Journey so you don't miss any of our deep dives into the world of psychology, personal growth, and self-discovery. When most of us think about our minds, we focus on what we're aware of, the thoughts we can access at any given moment, the feelings we're conscious of, and the actions we choose to take. But according to Carl Jung, there is far more to the human psyche than what we can immediately see. Jung proposed that beneath our conscious mind lies a vast and hidden territory, divided into two essential realms: the personal unconscious and the collective unconscious. In this chapter, we'll explore these two dimensions of the psyche, starting with the personal unconscious, and then diving into the concept of the collective unconscious. These ideas are central to Jung's work, as they explain how our past experiences, as well as the deep shared layers of human history, shape who we are and how we perceive the world. To begin, let's take a closer look at the personal unconscious. The personal unconscious is, in essence, the storage system for all of our personal memories, experiences, and forgotten knowledge. This includes memories that have been repressed, ignored, or overlooked, as well as things that we simply don't have immediate access to in our conscious minds. Imagine it like a huge attic in your mind, where everything you've ever experienced is stored, but some things are buried deeper than others. These might include repressed childhood memories, unacknowledged emotions, and unresolved conflicts. While we are not actively aware of these memories, they still affect our behavior, shaping our thoughts, attitudes, and decisions in ways we may not realize. Repressed memories and experiences. The personal unconscious is the home of repressed memories. Those moments from our past that we've either forgotten or pushed aside because they were too painful or difficult to process at the time. These memories often find their way into our dreams or influence our actions in subtle ways, without us fully understanding why. For example, if someone experienced trauma in childhood and never had the opportunity to process it, that repressed memory might affect their relationships or self-esteem later in life. The personal unconscious, in this case, holds on to that unaddressed emotional pain, which, unless brought to conscious awareness, will continue to shape their behavior. Dreams as a window into the personal unconscious. One of the primary ways we can access the personal unconscious is through our dreams. Jung believed that dreams are a direct expression of unconscious material, often carrying symbols, images, and emotions that relate to our personal experiences. By interpreting these dreams, we can gain insight into the hidden parts of our psyche, uncovering repressed feelings, desires, and memories. For instance, if someone frequently dreams of being chased, it might indicate a repressed fear or unresolved anxiety in their waking life. Dreams, then, serve as a bridge to understanding the personal unconscious and its influence on our daily existence. Now that we've explored the personal unconscious, let's delve into the more expansive and profound concept of the collective unconscious. The collective unconscious is a deeper layer of the psyche, one that is shared by all human beings regardless of culture, background, or individual experience. Unlike the personal unconscious, which is specific to each individual, the collective unconscious contains universal symbols, themes, and archetypes that are inherited from our ancestors. The archetypes. One of the most crucial elements of the collective unconscious is the concept of archetypes. Archetypes are primordial, universal symbols and patterns that reside in the collective unconscious. These archetypes represent fundamental human experiences and can be found across cultures, time periods, and societies. Some common archetypes include the hero. The archetype of the hero represents courage, adventure, and transformation. The hero's journey is seen in countless myths, legends, and modern stories, from King Arthur to Star Wars' Luke Skywalker. The hero's journey often involves a challenge or ordeal that leads to personal growth and a return with newfound wisdom. The shadow. As we discussed in Chapter 1, the shadow represents the darker, repressed parts of the self, the traits or desires we deny or disown. The shadow archetype can manifest as the villain in a story, but it is also something we all carry within us. Confronting and integrating the shadow is a key step in the process of individuation. The anima and animus. The anima, the feminine aspect in men, and animus, the masculine aspect in women, are archetypes that represent the opposite gender within the individual. These archetypes help us balance the inner masculine and feminine energies, leading to greater psychological harmony. The wise old man/woman. This archetype represents wisdom, guidance, and insight. The wise old man or woman often appears in mythology as a mentor figure who helps the hero navigate their challenges and grow. Jung's view on universal symbols. Jung believed that archetypes and other universal symbols are deeply ingrained in the human psyche, passed down through generations as part of our shared evolutionary history. These symbols appear not only in myths and religious stories, but also in our personal dreams and fantasies. They provide a map to understanding the core experiences that shape human life. For example, the hero's journey is a common theme that appears in both ancient myths and contemporary stories, demonstrating that this archetype is not bound by any one culture, but rather reflects the universal human experience of growth, struggle, and transformation. The influence of the collective unconscious in modern life. The collective unconscious plays a significant role in shaping our perceptions, reactions, and behavior. Even though we may not consciously be aware of it, the archetypes and symbols stored in the collective unconscious influence everything from our personal identity to how we relate to others and understand the world around us. Think about the universal concept of the mother archetype. Regardless of culture, the idea of a nurturing, protective maternal figure is recognized across human societies. This influence doesn't just appear in mythology, but also in our personal lives. For example, the way we view our own mothers or maternal figures often reflects a deeper archetypal image that's shaped by the collective unconscious. In popular culture, too, the collective unconscious can be seen influencing the stories we tell. For example, superhero films frequently feature characters who embody archetypes like the hero, the shadow, or the wise old mentor. Even though we live in a modern, technological world, the collective unconscious continues to shape our stories and our understanding of the human experience. In this chapter, we've explored the fundamental concepts of the personal and collective unconscious. While the personal unconscious contains the repressed and forgotten parts of our individual experiences, the collective unconscious is a deeper layer shared by all humans, containing universal archetypes that shape our thoughts, behaviors, and dreams. By understanding both realms of the unconscious, we gain a profound insight into our own psyche, as well as the universal forces that connect us all. In the next chapter, we will dive deeper into Jung's concept of archetypes, the symbols and patterns that emerge from the collective unconscious. These archetypes play a crucial role in shaping both our personal lives and the stories we tell, and understanding them can lead to powerful personal transformation. In the previous chapter, we explored the foundations of the personal and collective unconscious, two central concepts in Carl Jung's work. But while these realms of the unconscious are vast and influential, what truly brings them to life are the archetypes. the universal symbols and patterns that shape our inner worlds and external realities. Archetypes are not just abstract ideas. They are the very building blocks of the human psyche, appearing in myths, dreams, and stories throughout history. They are powerful forces that shape our behavior, influence our emotions, and guide our personal development. In this chapter, we'll explore the concept of archetypes in depth, examining their role in the psyche, their various forms, and how they manifest in our lives. At their core, archetypes are universal symbols or motifs that emerge from the collective unconscious. These recurring themes and images appear in myths, religions, literature, and even modern media, transcending culture and time. According to Jung, archetypes are not learned, but are inherent structures of the psyche that are passed down through generations, present in all human beings regardless of personal experience. Archetypes represent fundamental human experiences, roles, and emotions. They are the templates for how we experience the world, forming the foundation for many of our thoughts, actions, and beliefs. Jung believed that archetypes operate beneath the level of conscious awareness, influencing our choices and shaping the stories we tell about ourselves. To understand archetypes, think of them as the characters in a play: the hero, the shadow, the wise old man, the anima, and the animus, to name a few. These archetypes shape our personal narratives and influence how we perceive our roles in the larger story of life. Let's take a closer look at some of the most important and common archetypes that Jung identified. These archetypes can appear in dreams, myths, stories, and even in our personal lives. The hero. The hero is one of the most prominent archetypes in Jungian psychology. The hero represents strength, courage, and the drive to overcome adversity. This archetype often appears in stories of individuals who embark on a quest or face great challenges, all while striving to achieve a greater purpose. The hero's journey is a central theme in many mythological tales, from the adventures of Hercules to the epic journey of Frodo Baggins in The Lord of the Rings. The hero archetype is symbolic of personal growth and transformation. The hero doesn't simply face external obstacles, but also confronts inner fears, doubts, and shadows. In the process of overcoming these challenges, the hero undergoes a psychological transformation, becoming a more integrated and self-aware person. The shadow. The shadow represents the darker, repressed aspects of the self, those qualities we tend to deny, suppress, or hide from the world. Jung believed that we all carry a shadow composed of traits, impulses, or desires that we are uncomfortable with or unwilling to acknowledge. These traits may be considered socially unacceptable or contradictory to our conscious self-image. However, Jung also argued that the shadow is not inherently negative. By confronting and integrating the shadow, we can achieve greater wholeness and self-awareness. The shadow is often depicted as the villain or antagonist in stories, but it is also a mirror of the unrecognized or unaccepted parts of ourselves. Embracing the shadow is an essential part of Jung's process of individuation, as it allows us to become more authentic and balanced individuals. The anima and animus. The anima and animus are two key archetypes that represent the feminine and masculine aspects within each individual. Jung believed that every man carries within him an inner feminine energy, the anima, and every woman carries an inner masculine energy, the animus. These archetypes play a crucial role in balancing the psyche and creating a sense of inner harmony. The anima represents qualities traditionally associated with femininity, such as intuition, emotion, and creativity, while the animus represents qualities of masculinity, such as logic, reason, and strength. Jung suggested that a person's relationship with their anima or animus affects their interactions with the opposite sex and their overall psychological development. The wise old man/woman. The wise old man or woman is an archetype of wisdom, guidance, and mentorship. This figure often appears in mythology as a mentor or guide who helps the hero navigate their journey and overcome obstacles. The wise old man or woman is symbolic of the deeper, more ancient wisdom that resides within us all. This archetype represents the potential for self-realization and enlightenment. In many myths, the wise old man or woman offers advice or teachings that ultimately help the hero grow and achieve their ultimate goal. Jung believed that encountering this archetype within ourselves could lead to a deeper connection with our true selves and a more fulfilled life. The Great Mother. The Great Mother archetype is a symbol of nurturing, protection, and creation. It represents the motherly qualities that provide sustenance and support, but it also encompasses the darker aspects of the mother, such as overprotection or possessiveness. The Great Mother can manifest as a literal mother figure in a person's life, but it also represents the larger, more universal forces of creation and destruction. This archetype is often associated with the earth and nature, representing the cycles of birth, growth, and decay. Jung saw the Great Mother as an essential part of the individuation process, as it represents the need for emotional nourishment and the understanding of life's cyclical nature. Archetypes are not just abstract concepts. They are lived experiences that manifest in our dreams, personal relationships, and even our creative expressions. In Jungian psychology, dreams are seen as a powerful window into the unconscious, where archetypes come to life and offer insights into the individual's psyche. For example, you may have a dream in which you're journeying through a dense forest, the hero's journey, and encounter an older figure who offers you wisdom and guidance, the wise old man. Or you may have a dream in which you're confronted by a dark and threatening force, the shadow, forcing you to face parts of yourself that you have long denied. Jung argued that understanding the archetypes in our dreams is essential for personal growth. When we become aware of these archetypal images, we can begin to integrate them into our conscious lives, facilitating the process of individuation and moving towards a more balanced and whole self. Archetypes also play a significant role in the myths, stories, and cultural narratives that shape society. From ancient Greek myths to modern superhero films, these universal symbols are deeply embedded in human culture, offering insight into collective human experiences. Archetypes are not static. They evolve and manifest in different ways depending on the individual's life stage, experiences, and personal growth. As we go through life, the archetypes within us shift and change, guiding us through different phases of our development. Jung believed that recognizing and integrating these archetypes into our consciousness was crucial for achieving psychological wholeness. For example, the hero archetype might be prominent during a period of personal transformation or challenge, while the wise old man archetype could emerge as one matures and seeks wisdom or guidance. The process of individuation, or becoming whole, involves understanding and reconciling these different archetypes, embracing both their light and shadow aspects, and integrating them into one's sense of self. Archetypes are powerful forces that shape our lives, guiding our behavior, influencing our dreams, and helping us understand the deeper layers of our psyche. These universal symbols are the building blocks of the human experience, present in both our personal and collective unconscious. By recognizing and embracing the archetypes within us, we can navigate our own journey toward greater self-awareness and wholeness. In the next chapter, we'll explore the process of individuation, the journey of integrating the conscious and unconscious parts of the self to achieve a more balanced and authentic life. But before we continue, remember to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Have you ever encountered archetypes in your life or dreams? We'd love to hear your reflections. In the previous chapters, we've delved deep into Carl Jung's fascinating ideas about the personal and collective unconscious and the archetypes that reside within them. But understanding these unconscious layers of the psyche is only the first step on the path of psychological growth. The ultimate goal, according to Jung, is to achieve a state of psychological wholeness, a process that he called individuation. Individuation is the journey toward self-actualization, the process by which an individual integrates the conscious and unconscious aspects of their personality. It is about becoming the person you are meant to be, moving beyond the limitations of societal conditioning and childhood influences, and embracing both the light and dark aspects of the self. In this chapter, we'll dive deep into the concept of individuation, exploring its stages, challenges, and ultimate significance in the journey toward self-realization. At its core, individuation is the process of becoming the person you are truly meant to be, fully realizing your potential by integrating all aspects of the self. Jung believed that the human psyche is naturally oriented toward wholeness, and that individuation is the path that leads us to this complete, authentic self. It involves a reconciliation between the conscious and unconscious minds, allowing us to acknowledge and embrace both our strengths and weaknesses. Individuation is not a goal that can be reached quickly. It is a lifelong process that involves continuous growth, self-discovery, and transformation. The process allows us to discover our unique identity by confronting the shadows, archetypes, and forgotten parts of ourselves, leading to a greater sense of inner harmony and balance. It's about becoming who you were always meant to be, rather than merely fulfilling the expectations of others or the roles imposed by society. Jung described individuation as a multi-stage process, one that unfolds gradually as an individual grows and evolves. These stages are not strictly linear, but may vary based on the individual's experiences and life circumstances. However, the following stages provide a general roadmap for understanding the process. The encounter with the shadow. The first major stage of individuation is the confrontation with the shadow, the repressed or denied aspects of the self. The shadow represents the parts of our psyche that we are unwilling to acknowledge, our fears, insecurities, weaknesses, and negative traits. For example, a person who prides themselves on being always calm may need to confront their anger or aggression. This stage of individuation can be challenging, as it requires us to face uncomfortable truths about ourselves. However, integrating the shadow is essential for personal growth, as it allows us to move beyond denial and embrace our full range of human experiences. By accepting our flaws and imperfections, we become more authentic and whole. The encounter with the anima/animus. After confronting the shadow, the next stage of individuation involves an encounter with the anima, the feminine aspect in men, or animus, the masculine aspect in women. These archetypes represent the opposite gender within the individual, and coming to terms with them is crucial for balancing the masculine and feminine energies in the psyche. For men, the anima may represent emotional expression, creativity, or intuition, while for women, the animus may represent logic, strength, or rationality. This stage requires us to integrate these opposite energies in order to create a more balanced self. As we embrace both the anima and animus, we begin to transcend rigid gender roles and find wholeness within ourselves. The development of the self. In the later stages of individuation, the goal is to integrate the conscious and unconscious parts of the psyche into a cohesive whole. This involves developing a relationship with the self, the central archetype of the psyche that represents the totality of our being. The self encompasses both the conscious ego and the unconscious aspects of the personality, symbolizing the integration of all parts of the self. Jung believed that the self is the ultimate goal of individuation, and it represents the highest level of personal development. The self is not a static entity but a dynamic, evolving concept, symbolizing the person we are meant to become. Dreams play a central role in the process of individuation, as they provide a direct connection to the unconscious mind. According to Jung, dreams are messages from the unconscious that reveal the hidden aspects of the psyche, offering valuable insights into our internal struggles, desires, and fears. Through dream analysis, we can uncover unconscious material that needs to be integrated into our conscious awareness. For example, if a person dreams of fighting a monstrous creature, this could symbolize a confrontation with the shadow, an aspect of themselves that they are avoiding or suppressing. Similarly, a dream of meeting a wise old man could represent the appearance of the wise old man archetype, offering guidance on the next step in the individuation process. By paying attention to dreams and engaging in dream analysis, individuals can uncover deeper layers of the self and move forward on their journey of self-realization. The process of individuation is not merely an intellectual or psychological exercise. It has profound implications for our emotional, relational, and spiritual well-being. Through individuation, we can break free from societal expectations, family conditioning, and external pressures to discover and live in accordance with our true nature. Individuation leads to greater authenticity, as we shed the masks we wear for others and embrace our true selves. It allows us to live more fully, making choices that align with our values, rather than simply conforming to what is expected of us. It also fosters deeper connections with others, as we become more integrated and compassionate individuals who accept both their light and dark sides. Moreover, individuation can have a profound spiritual impact. Jung believed that the process of becoming whole was an essential step in reconnecting with the transcendent aspects of life. By integrating the unconscious, we move closer to the divine or the numinous, the sacred spiritual essence that transcends the individual ego. In this sense, individuation is a spiritual journey as much as it is a psychological one. While individuation is ultimately a path to personal growth and enlightenment, it is not without its challenges. The process requires courage, honesty, and self-reflection. It asks us to confront the parts of ourselves that we have neglected, feared, or rejected. One of the most difficult aspects of individuation is the confrontation with the shadow. Many people spend their lives avoiding their darker traits, either through denial or repression. But facing the shadow is crucial for growth. It is through accepting our flaws and vulnerabilities that we gain greater emotional resilience and psychological strength. Individuation also demands that we relinquish the need for external validation. As we embark on this journey, we must let go of the roles and identities that we have adopted to meet the expectations of others. This can be a difficult process, as it often requires us to break free from long-established patterns of behavior and belief. Individuation is a transformative and deeply personal journey toward wholeness and self-realization. Through confronting the shadow, integrating the anima and animus, and developing a relationship with the self, we move closer to becoming the fullest version of ourselves. It is a lifelong process, one that involves confronting our fears, embracing our darkness, and ultimately finding balance within the inner and outer worlds. In the next chapter, we'll explore Jung's approach to the psyche and the role of the unconscious in shaping human behavior. We will also take a closer look at how individuation can affect relationships and how understanding the unconscious can improve our interactions with others. In the previous chapters, we have explored various dimensions of Carl Jung's psychological theories, from archetypes to individuation. However, to fully understand Jung's work, we must examine one of his most central concepts: the structure of the psyche itself and the role of the unconscious mind. Jung's theory of the psyche is intricate and layered, positing that our consciousness is not the only force that drives our thoughts, behaviors, and perceptions. Beneath the surface of conscious awareness lies a vast and dynamic unconscious that profoundly shapes our experiences, desires, and fears. Understanding the layers of the psyche is essential to understanding the full depth of Jung's psychological theory. In this chapter, we will break down the key components of the psyche and explore how the unconscious influences both our individual lives and our collective human experience. At the heart of Jung's psychology is the idea that the psyche is composed of several distinct but interconnected layers: the ego, the personal unconscious, and the collective unconscious. Each of these layers plays a vital role in shaping our mental life and experiences. Let's take a closer look at each of these components. The ego. The ego is the center of our conscious awareness. It is the part of our psyche that we identify with most, our thoughts, feelings, and perceptions that make us aware of our individuality and existence. The ego is responsible for our sense of identity, our ability to navigate the external world, and our capacity for rational thought. However, while the ego is crucial for functioning in everyday life, it is not the totality of the psyche. Jung argued that the ego often becomes too dominant and disconnected from the deeper, unconscious aspects of the self. This imbalance can lead to psychological issues, as the ego fails to integrate the repressed material in the unconscious. The personal unconscious. Below the level of the ego lies the personal unconscious, which contains all the memories, experiences, and feelings that are not presently in conscious awareness. This includes both repressed material, things we have intentionally forgotten or ignored, and forgotten memories that are no longer relevant to our current lives. The personal unconscious is unique to each individual. It is shaped by personal history, experiences, traumas, and unresolved conflicts. Unlike the ego, the personal unconscious is not easily accessible to the individual's conscious mind, but it has a profound influence on our behavior, emotions, and dreams. According to Jung, the personal unconscious is not entirely negative or harmful. While it does contain repressed or ignored material, it also holds valuable resources, forgotten talents, creative potential, and undiscovered truths that can aid in the process of self-growth and individuation. It is through making the unconscious conscious that individuals can uncover hidden aspects of themselves, leading to greater self-awareness and personal transformation. The collective unconscious. Perhaps the most revolutionary aspect of Jung's theory is his concept of the collective unconscious, which posits that there is a universal layer of the unconscious shared by all humans. This layer contains a vast reservoir of archetypes, primordial images, and shared human experiences that transcend individual and cultural differences. The collective unconscious is not shaped by personal experiences, but by the collective history of humanity. It is the psychic inheritance passed down from our ancestors, a shared psychological heritage that connects us to the deep, fundamental aspects of human existence. Jung believed that the collective unconscious is the source of myths, religions, and symbols that have appeared throughout human history. Archetypes, such as the hero, the shadow, and the wise old man, are part of the collective unconscious. They represent universal patterns and themes that emerge across different cultures and societies. The collective unconscious is not limited to human beings, but is a reflection of the deep psychological structure that connects all living beings to one another. The unconscious mind plays a profound role in shaping our behavior, decisions, and interactions. Although we often think of ourselves as rational, autonomous beings, much of what we do is driven by unconscious forces that we may not be aware of. Jung believed that unconscious material, whether from the personal or collective unconscious, often manifests in dreams, projections, and behaviors that we cannot explain. For example, many of our emotional responses are driven by unconscious patterns or archetypes that we have internalized over time. A person may be drawn to a particular type of relationship that mirrors unresolved issues from childhood, or they may react to certain situations with intense emotional reactions that seem out of proportion. These behaviors are often unconscious responses to deeper, unaddressed psychological conflicts. Similarly, the unconscious mind can express itself through projections. When we project our unconscious material onto others, we attribute qualities, feelings, or desires to them that actually belong to ourselves. For example, someone may unconsciously project their feelings of inadequacy onto a colleague, accusing them of being arrogant or superior, when in reality, these qualities reflect the person's own inner conflicts or self-doubt. By becoming aware of these unconscious patterns, through introspection, dream analysis, or therapy, we can begin to dissolve the hold that the unconscious has over our behavior. Understanding the unconscious mind allows us to take control of our responses and reactions, leading to greater emotional freedom and self-mastery. For Jung, the integration of the unconscious into consciousness was essential for personal growth. He argued that by ignoring or repressing unconscious material, we stunt our psychological development and prevent ourselves from realizing our full potential. Jung's process of individuation, which we discussed in the previous chapter, is essentially the process of integrating the unconscious into the conscious mind. This integration allows us to understand ourselves more deeply, accept our inner contradictions, and become more authentic individuals. By confronting the shadow, acknowledging repressed desires, and embracing the archetypal forces within us, we can achieve a state of psychological wholeness. Jung believed that this integration was not only beneficial for the individual, but for society as a whole. By becoming more conscious of the unconscious forces within us, we contribute to the collective growth of humanity. Jung saw the process of individuation as a way of healing the divisions within ourselves and the world around us. He believed that if more individuals became conscious of their inner worlds, we would create a more compassionate, balanced, and enlightened society. One of the most fascinating aspects of the unconscious mind, according to Jung, is its role in creativity. The unconscious is a wellspring of creative potential, providing access to symbols, ideas, and insights that transcend the limitations of the conscious mind. Many artists, writers, and creators have spoken about their experiences of creative inspiration, often describing how ideas or images seemingly appear out of nowhere. Jung believed that these moments of creative insight come from the unconscious mind, particularly from the collective unconscious, which serves as a reservoir of archetypal images and primordial symbols. When we tap into the unconscious, we connect with these universal symbols, allowing us to create works that resonate deeply with others. Jung also emphasized the importance of active imagination, a practice in which individuals consciously engage with unconscious material, such as archetypes, images, or dreams. Through this practice, individuals can access the unconscious and use it as a source of creative expression and personal growth. Jung's theory of the psyche and the unconscious offers profound insights into the complexities of the human experience. The unconscious, with its layers of personal and collective material, shapes much of our behavior, thoughts, and dreams. By acknowledging and integrating the unconscious, we can achieve greater self-awareness, emotional freedom, and creativity. This integration is essential not only for personal growth, but also for contributing to the collective well-being of society. In the next chapter, we will explore Jung's ideas on psychological types, focusing on his theories about introversion, extroversion, and the different functions of consciousness. This will help us further understand how our inner nature shapes the way we interact with the world around us. Throughout our exploration of Carl Jung's theories, we've encountered many concepts that delve into the depths of the human psyche. In this chapter, we will focus on one of Jung's most influential contributions to psychology, his theory of psychological types. Jung's work on personality types revolutionized the way we understand individual differences, and it laid the foundation for much of modern personality psychology, including the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator, MBTI. According to Jung, individuals perceive and interact with the world in fundamentally different ways based on their inherent psychological preferences. These preferences determine not only how we process information, but also how we respond to our environment, make decisions, and relate to others. In this chapter, we will dive deep into the two main orientations, extroversion and introversion, as well as the four primary functions of consciousness: thinking, feeling, sensation, and intuition. Understanding these psychological types can provide profound insights into our personality and behavior, helping us better understand ourselves and our relationships with others. One of the key distinctions in Jung's theory of psychological types is the distinction between extroversion and introversion. These terms refer to the orientation of energy, whether a person's energy is directed outward toward the external world or inward toward the internal world of thoughts, feelings, and reflections. Extroversion. Extroverts are energized by the external world. They find fulfillment in interacting with others, seeking new experiences, and engaging with the outer world. Extroverts are typically sociable, outgoing, and action-oriented. They thrive in group settings and often enjoy being the center of attention. Their focus is outward, and they draw their energy from external stimuli. Extroverts are more likely to be spontaneous and adaptable, enjoying variety and external stimulation. They often find comfort in external objects and activities, such as hobbies, social events, and physical spaces. However, extroverts may sometimes overlook their internal thoughts and feelings in favor of engaging with others, which can lead to a lack of introspection. Introversion. Introverts, on the other hand, direct their energy inward. They are more introspective, reflective, and tend to recharge by spending time alone. Introverts are typically reserved, thoughtful, and prefer deep, meaningful interactions rather than large social gatherings. Their focus is on the inner world of ideas, thoughts, and emotions. Introverts tend to be more sensitive to the inner life, and they may feel drained or overstimulated by too much external activity. They value solitude and personal space, and often need time to process their experiences internally. While they may enjoy socializing, they often prefer one-on-one interactions or small, intimate groups where deeper connections can be made. Introverts may struggle with social expectations or demands to be constantly engaged with the outer world. In addition to the orientation of energy, Jung proposed that each individual relies on one of four primary functions of consciousness to process information and make decisions. These functions represent different ways of perceiving and interacting with the world, and they play a crucial role in shaping personality. Thinking. The thinking function is concerned with logical analysis, objectivity, and intellectual understanding. Thinkers approach the world through reason, analyzing facts and applying principles to understand situations. They value clarity, structure, and rationality, making decisions based on logic rather than emotions. Thinkers tend to excel in environments where problem-solving and critical thinking are required. They enjoy working with ideas, concepts, and systems. However, they may sometimes neglect their emotional or personal needs, as they prioritize objectivity and rationality. In relationships, thinkers may struggle to express their emotions or connect on a deeper emotional level, focusing instead on facts and practical considerations. Feeling. The feeling function is concerned with values, emotions, and personal judgments. Feelers make decisions based on their values and what feels right to them, rather than purely logical analysis. They are sensitive to the emotions of others and tend to prioritize harmony, empathy, and understanding in their relationships. Feelers are often attuned to the emotional atmosphere of a situation and strive to create positive, supportive environments. They are typically warm, compassionate, and caring individuals who seek to make decisions that align with their ethical beliefs and values. However, feelers may sometimes struggle with making objective decisions, as their emotions may influence their judgment. In relationships, they may become overly concerned with the feelings of others, potentially neglecting their own needs. Sensation. The sensation function is focused on direct experience and the present moment. Sensation types are highly attuned to the physical world and rely on their senses to gather information. They are practical, grounded, and typically detail-oriented, paying close attention to facts, data, and what is immediately accessible. Sensation types enjoy engaging with the here and now, often excelling in environments that require attention to detail or hands-on work. They may have a keen appreciation for aesthetics, craftsmanship, and tangible experiences. However, sensation types can sometimes be so focused on the present moment that they may overlook future possibilities or abstract ideas. In relationships, they may prefer concrete, tangible forms of communication rather than abstract discussions. Intuition. The intuition function is focused on patterns, possibilities, and future potential. Intuitive types are drawn to abstract concepts, symbols, and ideas that go beyond what is immediately observable. They often seek to understand the underlying meaning or purpose behind events, situations, or behaviors. Intuitive types enjoy exploring theories, possibilities, and imaginative ideas. They are often visionaries, thinking about what could be rather than what is. However, they may sometimes overlook practical details or become so absorbed in possibilities that they neglect immediate needs or facts. In relationships, intuitive types may enjoy deep, philosophical conversations and may seek connections with others who share their curiosity and vision for the future. Jung proposed that each person has a dominant function, which is the primary way they interact with the world, and an auxiliary function, which supports the dominant function. In addition to the dominant and auxiliary functions, there are also tertiary and inferior functions that play smaller, but still important roles in shaping personality. For example, a person with a dominant thinking function may have an auxiliary sensation function, which helps them make practical decisions based on facts. Alternatively, someone with a dominant feeling function may have an auxiliary intuition function, which allows them to consider possibilities and future potential in making emotionally driven decisions. The interplay between these functions creates a dynamic system within the psyche. By understanding the function stack and how different functions interact, individuals can gain insight into their own cognitive preferences, strengths, and challenges. Jung's theory of psychological types has profound implications for relationships. By understanding our own type and the types of others, we can develop better communication, reduce misunderstandings, and build more harmonious connections. For example, an extrovert person may feel frustrated with an introverted partner who needs time alone, while the introvert may feel overwhelmed by the extrovert's need for constant social interaction. Similarly, people with different cognitive functions may have different approaches to decision-making, problem-solving, and emotional expression. A thinker and a feeler, for example, may struggle to communicate effectively, as the thinker tends to prioritize logic while the feeler emphasizes values and emotions. However, by understanding these differences, couples and friends can learn to appreciate each other's strengths and find ways to support each other's needs. Jung's theory of psychological types offers a powerful framework for understanding human personality. By recognizing the ways in which we orient ourselves to the world, whether through extroversion or introversion, and the functions we use to process information, whether thinking, feeling, sensation, or intuition, we can gain deeper insights into our behaviors, preferences, and relationships. Jung's work on psychological types has had a lasting influence on modern psychology and provides valuable tools for personal growth and self-awareness. In the next chapter, we will explore Jung's ideas on the unconscious mind and its impact on creativity, diving deeper into how unconscious forces influence artistic expression, innovation, and our understanding of the world. In our previous chapters, we have examined various aspects of Carl Jung's theory, from the structure of the psyche to psychological types. However, one of Jung's most profound insights into the human experience lies in his understanding of how myths, symbols, and dreams play a crucial role in our psychological development. Jung believed that these elements were not merely relics of ancient cultures or the byproducts of idle thoughts, but vital tools for engaging with the deeper layers of the unconscious mind. Myths, symbols, and dreams are all expressions of the unconscious and serve as bridges between the conscious and unconscious realms. For Jung, engaging with these aspects of the psyche was an essential part of the individuation process, the journey towards psychological wholeness. In this chapter, we will explore how Jung viewed these symbolic expressions as pathways for self-discovery, healing, and transformation. Jung believed that myths are not just cultural artifacts or stories passed down through generations. They are deeply embedded expressions of the collective unconscious. Myths represent universal themes, archetypes, and patterns that are common to all human beings, regardless of time or culture. They embody the fundamental aspects of the human experience, including birth, death, love, conflict, and transformation. For Jung, myths were not mere fiction or fantasy. They were reflections of the deeper truths of the human psyche. In his view, the archetypes present in myths, such as the hero, the wise old man, the great mother, and the shadow, were universal symbols of psychological processes that are part of every person's inner world. These archetypes represent key aspects of the self and reflect the internal conflicts and struggles that shape our lives. When individuals engage with myths, whether through reading, storytelling, or reflection, they connect with the collective unconscious and the archetypal patterns that lie within it. Jung believed that this connection to myths helps individuals understand the deeper aspects of their own psyche and offers guidance in navigating their personal journeys. The stories and themes in myths can serve as mirrors, reflecting our inner struggles, desires, and potential for growth. Jung saw symbols as the language of the unconscious mind. Symbols are not arbitrary or superficial. They are meaningful representations of deeper psychological realities. While a symbol may appear simple on the surface, it can hold a multitude of meanings and layers that reflect unconscious processes and hidden truths. Symbols often emerge in dreams, fantasies, and creative expressions. They may appear as objects, images, or experiences that seem puzzling or enigmatic, but carry a wealth of psychological significance. Jung's understanding of symbols was rooted in his belief that the unconscious communicates with the conscious mind through these rich, multidimensional representations. For example, a dream in which someone encounters a snake might symbolize transformation, healing, or hidden fears, depending on the context of the dreamer's life. The snake could represent the life force, as in the ancient symbol of the serpent shedding its skin, or a fear that needs to be confronted. In this way, symbols function as gateways to the unconscious, offering insight into the deeper layers of the psyche and facilitating the individuation process. Symbols can be both personal and universal. Personal symbols are unique to the individual and arise from their personal experiences, memories, and struggles. These might include images or ideas that are deeply meaningful to the person based on their own life story. Universal symbols, on the other hand, arise from the collective unconscious and represent archetypal themes and motifs that resonate across cultures and time periods. Jung believed that the exploration of both personal and universal symbols was essential to understanding the psyche and achieving personal growth. One of the most powerful and direct ways the unconscious communicates with the conscious mind is through dreams. Jung placed significant importance on the interpretation of dreams as a tool for self-awareness and psychological growth. Dreams, according to Jung, are not just random or meaningless. They are meaningful expressions of unconscious material that, if properly understood, can provide valuable insights into the individual's psyche. Jung saw dreams as a natural and necessary part of the individuation process. Dreams reflect unconscious conflicts, desires, and fears that may not be accessible to the conscious mind during waking hours. By examining and interpreting dreams, individuals can uncover hidden aspects of their personality, confront repressed emotions, and integrate unconscious material into conscious awareness. For example, a dream in which an individual confronts a shadowy figure may represent the individual's confrontation with their own repressed desires or unacknowledged aspects of the self. Similarly, a dream involving an archetypal figure, such as a wise old man or a mother figure, might represent the individual's internal guide or source of wisdom. Jung believed that understanding these dream images could lead to profound personal transformation, as the dreamer gains a greater understanding of their own unconscious motives and desires. In addition to dream interpretation, Jung developed the technique of active imagination as a way to engage directly with the unconscious. Active imagination involves consciously interacting with unconscious images, symbols, and archetypes in order to explore their meanings and integrate them into the conscious mind. In this process, individuals might sit quietly and allow images or thoughts to emerge spontaneously. They might then engage with these images in a creative or imaginative way, through drawing, writing, or even dialogue with the figures or symbols that appear. By allowing the unconscious to express itself in this way, individuals can deepen their self-awareness and gain insight into unresolved psychological conflicts or challenges. Active imagination is a tool for bridging the gap between the conscious and unconscious mind, providing a direct means of communication with the deeper layers of the psyche. It can be a powerful way to uncover hidden truths, integrate repressed emotions, and promote personal healing. For Jung, the primary purpose of engaging with myths, symbols, and dreams was healing. The unconscious holds not only repressed memories and unresolved conflicts, but also the potential for transformation and growth. By exploring these elements of the unconscious, individuals can access the deeper layers of the self and work through unresolved issues, leading to a greater sense of wholeness and integration. Myths and symbols serve as guides on this journey, providing a map for navigating the complexities of the psyche. They can help individuals confront their shadow, embrace their potential, and understand their role within the larger narrative of human existence. Dreams offer insight into the unconscious, helping individuals process emotions, make sense of life experiences, and achieve psychological balance. By engaging with these symbolic expressions, individuals embark on a journey of self-discovery, healing, and transformation. Jung believed that this process was not only essential for personal well-being, but also for contributing to the collective healing of society. As more individuals become conscious of their unconscious material and integrate it into their lives, they help create a more harmonious and balanced world. Jung's understanding of myths, symbols, and dreams highlights the profound role of the unconscious in shaping our psychological development. These elements are not mere distractions or fantasy. They are essential tools for understanding ourselves and achieving personal transformation. By engaging with myths, symbols, and dreams, we can unlock the deeper layers of the psyche, confront repressed material, and integrate unconscious forces into our conscious lives. This process of individuation, guided by the rich language of the unconscious, leads to greater self-awareness, healing, and growth. In the next chapter, we will dive deeper into Jung's concepts of the shadow and its transformative power, examining how confronting the darker aspects of the psyche can lead to profound personal and collective change. As we near the end of our journey through Carl Jung's fascinating world of psychology, we must turn our attention to one of the most profound and transformative aspects of his work: the shadow. Jung's concept of the shadow is central to his entire theory of individuation, the process by which we integrate all aspects of ourselves into a cohesive and authentic whole. The shadow represents the parts of our psyche that we repress, deny, or disown because they are uncomfortable, undesirable, or conflict with our conscious self-image. While the shadow is often viewed as a negative force, Jung argued that it is an essential and unavoidable part of the human experience. Understanding and integrating the shadow is crucial for psychological growth, healing, and personal transformation. In this final chapter, we will delve into the concept of the shadow, exploring its nature, how it manifests in our lives, and the powerful role it plays in our journey toward wholeness. By confronting and integrating the shadow, we can experience profound personal change and gain access to our hidden potential. Jung defined the shadow as the unconscious part of the personality that contains everything that the conscious ego rejects or fails to acknowledge. These aspects of the self can be traits, behaviors, or emotions that society deems unacceptable or that we perceive as morally or socially undesirable. As a result, the shadow holds the parts of ourselves that we are unwilling to confront or accept. For example, a person who prides themselves on being good might repress their anger, aggression, or selfish impulses, pushing these feelings into their unconscious mind. The shadow then becomes the repository for these denied emotions and characteristics. Jung suggested that everyone has a shadow, but the content and expression of the shadow vary from person to person based on their personal history, culture, and values. Importantly, the shadow is not inherently evil or malicious. While it often contains repressed impulses and qualities, it also holds positive traits that may have been suppressed. Qualities like assertiveness, creativity, and passion can be part of the shadow, waiting to be acknowledged and integrated. In this sense, the shadow is not just a collection of negative traits. It is a complex and multifaceted aspect of the self. The shadow is not a singular or unified entity, but rather a dynamic and evolving aspect of the psyche. It can manifest in different ways depending on the context and the person's life stage. The shadow often appears in dreams, fantasies, and projections. When we see undesirable qualities in others, we are often projecting our own shadow onto them. In this way, the shadow can be seen in our judgments, fears, and even in the conflicts we encounter with others. One of the key features of the shadow is that it often consists of the qualities that we disown or repress because they contradict our self-image. If we see ourselves as kind, we may push any feelings of cruelty or aggression into the shadow. If we see ourselves as competent and capable, we may deny our vulnerability or weakness. Over time, these repressed aspects of the self accumulate in the unconscious, creating a fragmented sense of the self. The shadow can also manifest in more subtle ways, such as in passive-aggressive behavior, unconscious self-sabotage, or hidden fears. These unacknowledged parts of the self influence our thoughts, actions, and relationships, often without our conscious awareness. The more we deny or repress the shadow, the more power it has over us, often leading to unresolved emotional conflicts and inner turmoil. One of the primary ways the shadow influences our lives is through projections. Projection occurs when we attribute our own repressed qualities to others. For example, a person who has repressed their anger might constantly find themselves irritated by other people's perceived aggression. In this case, the person is projecting their own shadow onto others, not realizing that their judgment is rooted in their own unconscious feelings. Projections can be both negative and positive. While we tend to project negative aspects of the shadow onto others, we can also project positive qualities. For example, someone might admire a person for their confidence and strength without realizing that these same qualities are latent within themselves. In both cases, projections prevent us from fully integrating the shadow because they externalize what we are unwilling to face within ourselves. The key to working with the shadow is becoming aware of these projections and recognizing that the traits we see in others may be reflections of aspects of ourselves. By reclaiming these projections and taking responsibility for the parts of ourselves that we've disowned, we begin the process of shadow integration. The process of integrating the shadow is not an easy one. It requires a willingness to confront uncomfortable truths about ourselves and face the parts of our psyche that we would rather ignore. However, integrating the shadow is an essential step in the individuation process, the journey toward becoming a fully realized, authentic individual. To integrate the shadow, we must first become aware of its existence. This awareness often begins with recognizing our projections, those qualities we judge or criticize in others. We must ask ourselves, what is it about this person or situation that triggers me? And reflect on how the traits we dislike in others might reflect aspects of ourselves that we have repressed. Once we acknowledge the shadow, the next step is to embrace it. This does not mean indulging in destructive or harmful behaviors, but rather accepting the repressed aspects of ourselves and integrating them into our conscious awareness. By recognizing the value of these shadow qualities, we can begin to use them in positive ways. For example, a person who has repressed their anger may need to learn how to express it constructively, or someone who has denied their creativity may begin to explore artistic expression. Integration also involves embracing the paradoxes within the self. The shadow often contains contradictory aspects: strength and weakness, assertiveness and passivity, love and hate. Integrating the shadow means recognizing that we are not defined by any one aspect of ourselves, but rather by the whole of who we are. It is only by accepting all parts of ourselves, including the dark and hidden aspects, that we can achieve true psychological wholeness. The integration of the shadow is not merely about self-awareness. It is a transformative process that leads to profound personal growth. By confronting the darker aspects of the self, individuals can release repressed emotions, break free from unconscious patterns, and gain access to untapped potential. The shadow holds the key to unlocking the full range of human experience, allowing us to become more authentic, balanced, and empowered. When we embrace the shadow, we become more whole and less fragmented. We develop a deeper understanding of ourselves and others, and we are better equipped to navigate life's challenges. Integrating the shadow also allows us to access our creativity, strength, and resilience, qualities that may have been suppressed but are essential for personal transformation. Jung argued that the shadow, while often perceived as a source of darkness and conflict, is ultimately a source of light and growth. By accepting the shadow, we allow ourselves to become more whole, more conscious, and more capable of living in harmony with ourselves and the world around us. Jung's concept of the shadow is one of the most transformative and powerful aspects of his psychological theory. By acknowledging and integrating the shadow, we can access the deeper, hidden parts of ourselves and unlock our full potential for growth and healing. The shadow is not something to fear or repress, but a vital aspect of the psyche that holds the keys to self-realization and transformation. As we conclude our journey through Jung's ideas, we are reminded that individuation, The process of becoming who we truly are is an ongoing journey. The shadow, with all its complexity and depth, is an essential part of this journey, guiding us toward greater self-awareness, authenticity, and wholeness. Thank you for joining us on this enlightening exploration into the profound world of Carl Jung's psychological theories. From the nature of the unconscious to the transformative power of the shadow, we've covered key aspects of Jung's vision for personal growth and self-awareness. If you found these insights valuable and thought-provoking, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to The Unfolding Journey. Here at The Unfolding Journey, we believe that each step of self-discovery brings us closer to understanding who we truly are. And we're just getting started. The journey toward greater awareness, healing, and transformation is ongoing, and we are here to help guide you every step of the way. With each new episode, we'll continue to delve deeper into the complexities of the human mind and soul, unlocking the wisdom that lies within us all. By subscribing, you ensure that you won't miss out on future episodes filled with new concepts, insights, and practical tools to help you evolve and grow. Be sure to click the notification bell so you're always updated when a new chapter in this unfolding journey is released. We'd love to hear from you. What resonated with you most about this chapter on the shadow and Jung's ideas? Have you noticed the shadow showing up in your own life? And how are you working with it? Share your thoughts and experiences with us in the comments below. Together, let's continue this journey of self-discovery, one step at a time. Thank you for being a part of the unfolding journey. This is your path to deeper self-awareness, and we're honored to walk alongside you. Stay tuned for more as we keep uncovering the layers of human experience, one chapter at a time.